Hello.
Artemis Snep with the 6-month tier 1 sub. Woot woot 6 months.
Once again, forgetting to actually have a bottle of water with me before I proceed to stream. How soon can I have an antihistamine? After, actually, hang on a second. Tell me on the box. "24 hours? What in the world? Any wheel yet? Oh, who knows? Oh, soda can. Sweet. Yeah, I need to get a... Het is still looking for the, Oh my god, you got a ghost fish. That's pretty impressive. Nice work. But yeah, hang on. Are there any doctors in the chat that can tell me, like, about cetirizine hydrochloride? Someone tell me about that, because, like, that's apparently, like, that's, like, an antihistamine. That's, like, a no-dozy thing. Like, there's only about, hang on a sec, 10 milligrams. Does that come in English? Yeah, it comes in English. Of course it comes in English. Hang on a second. Cetirizine hydrochloride. There we go. That. All right, toss you off onto the dining table. That is less and less like a dining table the more I go on with it, but it is what it is. Alrighty, I need to slap you over here. Oh, come on. Like, bam. There we go. And then slap you there, and then I need my collaboration tools. Because Blue should be online streaming. At least I think you must be live in order to enable. Alright. Give me a minute. Yeah, Blue is online. I'll send them an invite. Mute my mic, mute my audio. So here we go, here we go. So I'll keep fishing. Yeah, you keep fishing for that other wheel. You keep doing what you need to do to fish for that other wheel. Alrighty. Yeah.
Hello.
Hello, Masonic. Hello, Tanmux. Welcome, welcome. Hopefully everyone is doing good. Oh, there's trash that needs to go out. God damn it. Gosh darn it. Last time I got treasure, what was I supposed to do with that? Buy a wheel. You could buy a wheel with that treasure if you were clever enough. You could have just bought a wheel. But yeah. Hi, everyone. Happy Monday. It's the start of the week for many of us. Hopefully everyone is having a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, night, wherever they are. Let's see. Oh, Head's checking their thing. There. Nice. 87% himbo is a good himbo rating. Nice work there. 10 Mux, thank you so much for... Was it 10 Mux? Yeah, 10 Mux was here first. Thank you so much for being here. You're really close to being like the 50th time being the first into my streams, which is going to be kind of crazy that you do that. Meanwhile, Masonic gets themselves 90%. That's so high. Not too clever. You can still be relatively clever, but still himbo. Lord knows I'm somehow clever. Like, I impress the girlfriend sometimes. I do some amazing shit. Although how I do that, I do not know. Alright, I need to host a video game. Alright, let's see, Oh, he's still on my PC. That's very funny. Also, has he accepted my invite yet? Or is he just sitting in there, just sort of twiddling his thumbs? All Tweedledee-like. Hang on a second. I can check his, Twitch. Because it said he was online. It said he was online. I could be, like, double-check. Yeah, it says his stream is starting. So yeah, where is a married himbo? I'm not a married himbo. I'm just a lucky himbo is what I am. So, where's my head at? Oh yeah, I need to drag Blue into my streams. Silly Blue Foxy Crumpy Dumpy. Blue Foxy Nicey Icy is the username. I don't know why. Ding. Blue Foxy Nicey Icy. This guy right here. We agreed that for 6 o'clock, he and I would be playing What's a Mahoozy together. The hey Artemis, the guest isn't even here yet, and you're stealing my shirt. I'm trying to be presentable, and here you are, just taking the shirt and just being like, haha, titties. Yeah, look at that. You happy? You happy?
Thank you for the hyper himbo, I greatly appreciate it. This is gonna confuse Blue so much when I drag him into here. Observe as I drag him into here.
Double rations. Great.
Look at that. You were taking too long.
What do you mean taking too long? Man,
6
I'm
o'clock.
trying to freaking post all over my socials.
That's why you do it, that's why you start the stream before 6 o'clock. Jack!
You know how many servers I'm posting into?
More than one.
Yeah, definitely more than one.
So yeah, I got my posts done. I did the needful.
Bet you everyone's looking on my side. It's like, where the frick is Icy?
Yeah. Like, it's 6:03 at this point. You are now 3 minutes behind. What did you think I went off to when I had to start, doing the whole, going live and I had a countdown and everything, and then I was posting and all the different things. Meanwhile, you just have a stream starting and you just like doing the little like, haha, I'm holding a shiny. Haha.
You know my start time's different to your start time, right?
Apparently, but yeah, watch this as I start sharing the chat. Like, donk.
Well, luckily for me, I can easily go and skip my main screen. We're gonna go straight to this screen.
You
Well,
straight into the gaming. Straight into
the gaming.
While I'm in the middle of just chatting. So after I call you out for going behind schedule, you're now like, all right, gaming screen, let's go. We're going immediately to the gaming screen. We're not being in your like lovely little like magical void of sparkles and shinies. Chat, despite this attitude that I'm having with Blue is probably one of my good friends in the furry fandom / streaming community. So
this is why I'm allowed to fight this man.
This is why I'm allowed to fight this man.
I'm allowed to get away with stuff with you.
Yeah, you will cook me dinner and you will convince and enforce me to what was it? Oh yeah, you made me go to a Build-A-Bear. I had to deal with the fucking going to the Build-A-Bear and doing the whole yes. And now I need you to hold their hearts into your hands, squeeze it tight to give them your love, and then you rub it on your chest to make them loved, rub them on your head to make them smart, rub them on your arm to make them strong, and now give them a name. Build-A-Bear is great. Build-A-Bear is not great when you are a 30-year-old man by yourself, okay? It's weird, okay? I just went with really quickly, when the woman, at the, the stuffing station, step 1 was there, they were like, who's this for? Very quickly, I was just like,
are
it's
you
not for me,
freaking serious? You turned me into a baby gremlin again?
Yes. You deserve that. You deserve that.
Listen, you reach a point in your life, okay? Yeah, you reach a point in your life where you just stop caring what other people think.
Fair, and I see my girlfriend Artemis Snep saying, no argument, embrace the whimsy. I can embrace the whimsy, okay?
I don't, you're thinking this is like the difference between a believer and a non-believer in the freaking Polar Express movie. The reason why you can't hear that bell chime, believe in Santa and Christmas.
Don't you dare put that on me. It's one thing to believe in the whimsy and the magic of Christmas and December 25th. It's another thing to stand by yourself in a Build-A-Bear for a toy that you aren't going to keep for a friend, okay? It's entirely different when that friend is like, ah, yes, I need you to get me this Flareon immediately. I need it. Come back here. I only have 5 of the Evolution toys. You will give me Flareon.
I agree with Todd here. No joy, no joy.
I have joy. I have whimsy. It's just not for Blue and the Build-A-Bear. It's for whimsy.
This is a call-out post.
Hunter, playing in the critically acclaimed MMORPG Final Fantasy XIV, complete with a free trial. It's having McDonald's and 3 in the morning. It is for magical times, okay? I don't need the commodity of a Build-A-Bear for joy and whimsy. I get it elsewhere.
Freaking call out post. Freaking, this is Artemis. You need to drag this freaking zebra to another Build-A-Bear.
You are not dragging me to another Build-A-Bear. I don't care if I'm your passenger princess. Do not send me to another Build-A-Bear.
Send him. This is a thing that needs to be done. Send him.
McDonald's at 3 a.m. is called depression? No. McDonald's at 3 a.m. is not depression. Okay, McDonald's by yourself at 3 a.m. Maybe that's depression, but McDonald's at 3 a.m. with a group of friends or going to get a HSP like that with some friends, that is whimsy. That is a bromance that you will not understand until you do it yourself. And I highly recommend zoom in on me, please, Blue, because I'm in the chatting stream.
Well, because you're going off on a rant, and I see that. Hey, Indra, I see you in Zeeb's chat. We're going back to River City Girls 2.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that last time we got our asses kicked by the second boss, but we need to actually coordinate here. I need to check my moveset again.
All right, fine. Let's coordinate. Let me get you check the embedded chat for the lobby so you may join in on the whatsamahoozies, on the blah 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 blah, on the game. River City Girls, lock in. Yes, Porking King, I am going to need to lock in for this. Also, quick note, sorry, while we're in the chatting stream, before I go off into the blah 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 into the whatsamahoozies, into the video game and such. One of the things I need to be doing way more is utilizing some of the clips that you lovely viewers give me and what have you. And Poor King, I have to say, you have been such a gem doing all sorts of clips all across, like, because if I look back at, like, last month, like, across May, and then most of June as well, you have, from May up in, like, all the way back in June, you have been there clipping shit, and I really
I'm not a pretty princess.
Icy is a pretty... Chat, type 1 if you think Icy is a pretty princess. Type 2 if you have no whimsy.
My goodness.
Yeah, look at that. You're a pretty princess. Careful.
You can't put multiple ones from the same person in there. What does
Totally
3
fine.
even mean?
3 means that they are both thinking you're a pretty princess, but they don't have whimsy in their life, which is a little saddening.
Well, here's a thing, chat. Compared to Zeebs having it on the Switch, I have the physical copy of River City Girls 2. So I actually have the soundtrack as a physical disc as well. I'm keeping it sealed because apparently it's worth money.
Why? No one plays this game. Lord knows.
What do you mean no one plays this game?
I was
what do
looking
you
up
mean?
help for this game, and no one was giving it to me. I had to bumble around like an idiot trying to learn how to, the game is louder than Zeebs. Oh, hang on. Like, do I need to
Hecaday
fix that?
restaurant paid me to say Zeeb, stop milking your titties.
Nope.
Okay, I'm pretty sure I set mine to... Yeah, I set mine to be the right audio. Mine should be okay.
Alrighty. Alrighty then, I need to go and have a look at my end.
Don't beer me!
Also, oh yeah, I can see in comms that yours is going up and down and what have you, so...
So, obviously, from my end, my save file is still at 0% because this is not my story I'm playing through. This is Zeebs' story.
Oh.
But my character still keeps their stats.
Also, I realize... There we go. Alright. So... Also, I swear it was like level 20. I swear this guy was like 20. Oh no, his strength was 22, not his level.
Yeah, just keep in mind that if you do change characters, it also affects, they will be at whatever level that you first played them as. So in this case, Kunio, Misako, and my Ricky are level 1, whereas I'm stuck currently playing as Kyoko.
Oh my goodness, you have to play a girl in an anime girl in a video
Okay,
game.
I hydrated. You telling me to stretch and stand? Freaking out? Getting my self-care started.
That's alright. Yeah.
Ugh.
But yeah, hi Blues channel. It is me, GrantZeebs. I very much appreciate all of you being there for Blue Foxy Nicey Icy, as he and I will now go through River City Girls 2. Hello there, Lagoshi. Apparently it's Lagoshi's delicious feet are in my chat.
You again? I saw you before somewhere.
Who? Lagoshi's delicious feet?
Yeah, I saw that viewer somewhere. I think I remember where.
Wait, he can sound normal? Oh yeah, no, let me do a little bit of a clarification, Todd. I highly recommend,
Also, thank you for the follow. Welcome on in.
Clarification for those of you that are watching this stream and hearing me right now with my normal tones and such like that, or that they're, you know, listening intensely over in Blue Foxy Nicey Icy side. The reason why I sound like this and not as like my, you know,
Deep Varbarto, extra himbo energies with an extra dose of testosterone and X.
the reason why I don't sound like that all the time is because that is to the redeem of when I get hyper himboed. So it doesn't really work using the Fugi React and such like that, because unfortunately I'm not paying a premium for Fugi React to change my my Discord React on the fly. And Blue and I have not yet done like a little thingamadiggy of having a browser source or something like that with our PNG tubers for us to be able to, you know, change the thingamadiggy on the fly. I really wish that if Twitch was willing to be like, oh yeah, you can share like browser sources or something like that, I really wish they would allow us to share a browser source with a transparency layer and what have you. But unfortunately, you can only send a browser source that is like, you know, a normal window and such, and there's no transparency layer, so it would just be perfectly black. So me and Blue would have to agree of like, oh yeah, we have to pick a green screen chroma key or something like that to then input into the OBS thingamadiggy and all that nonsense.
Yeah, isn't that fun? Currently not at that stage yet. And also, those who are viewing this from my side, you probably see me just spam dabbing.
Yeah, I saw you dabbing. So wait, alright, so.
Remember, Y is light hit.
Alright.
Let's see, X is heavy, B is jump.
Alright, so I was able to get some luchadors.
Well, I'm currently stuck with student boys.
Do you not see all the ones I collected?
Oh no, it's only for you. You can only use whatever you got. I can only use whatever I got.
Oh, okay. Hi there, Sir Dragon. Welcome, welcome. Per Artemis's fact check. Wait.
I want to lemon him. Freaking go lemon Zeebs, not me.
You can't lemon me. I don't have that as a redeem on my side.
You just so you know, if you're currently subbed to the channel, you can use my lemon emote on him.
Oh yeah,
Something will happen.
that's it. That's if they're watching on my side. So we don't share sounds. God, could you imagine if we could like share our streamer bot like action like sounds and all that kind of nonsense?
Man, at that point, I'll just keep spamming wanky woo woo. Okay, I've been sent by freaking. Okay, everyone's getting sent by cars.
Yeah, because. All right, I'm gonna stay away from this, so then that way. Because you need at least one of these.
Well, it's kind of hard while everyone's getting run down by random vehicles.
So yeah. All right, so just light punch this guy repeatedly, like maybe in a 1-2 combo until he does. Oh.
Maybe do it when we're not getting hit by cars. I need to move him down.
Oh, yeah.
No, I need to move him where he's not going to get hit by a car.
Oh yeah, now walk into it and then you can do your triggers. All right, hang on.
Okay, that's.
There we go. Now walk into it and then there you go. Now you got a new guy.
There we go.
It took
All
me
right,
so long to learn that. Streamer
I'm
bot connected.
Fox Loyal.
Oh my, what a mess that would be during collabs. I reckon it would be brilliant if you somehow.
I reckon it'll be some of the craziest shit ever, but it would also cause a lot of weird stuff to happen. Because imagine just randomly having access to other people's abilities to transform them.
Oh, like the commands and such. Well, it was just more of the case of you could share the actions more easily. So, for instance, oh, can we? Oh no, jeez. Oh, new guys. See if you can get the school girl.
Well, Perfect.
Yep.
So yeah, for anyone that wants an update on where we are, we technically need to fight the second area boss. And we actually kind of had an issue of being slightly under-leveled. Actually, we just need more money. Yeah, we need more money.
Alright. So... Ow.
Well, we are in the middle of an axe-throwing range.
Yep.
Out of my way. Is that saltiest bun? Or you can get saltiest buns.
Ooh. Salt buns.
Man, if I want salt, I go to a card shop.
But yeah, what was that about? Sorry, someone was saying fact-checking Artemis? What? Oh, free hit combo. I do actually need to, what is it? Like, do we have accessories? It's been a while. Yeah, I think we do. I see double characters. There's a glitch in the Matrix. I don't know. Oh, no, I'm behind the
Well, hello there. Come on in.
clown makeup.
Glass mouth guard. Do more damage, but take more damage.
Each
Wool
cat
sock.
rescued. I don't know what that does, so let's see what that does.
Sure thing.
Heavy attacks have a chance to do shock, so... You know how sometimes we get electrocuted? Clown makeup. I don't know what that's going to do for me. I don't need any of this.
My son directed this game. He's so
Did you know my son directed this game? He's so talented. What?
Nice.
Wait. Ow! Degeneracy! Oh my god, I'm getting zapped. Okay, what was the button to... No, that's not the button. Okay, what was the button to use the item again?
Right. You press the right thumbstick in.
All right. I do need to eat these. Are we even
So, yeah.
going the right way? I see. Did you know that in my Tomodachi Life game, Princess Daisy's fallen in love with an Oompa Loompa? That's bad. Out of my way! I'm gonna take you down with random furniture. Oh my god, am I getting attacked by freaking people from Jet Set Radio?
Maybe. Are we
Okay,
going the
I
right
can't-
way? Okay, so we need to go.
Alright, perfect. New.
We need to go up.
Alright, I do need to stop by a store to buy some more recovery items. I still don't understand that we can consume books. And when I mean consume, I mean eat them. Alright, I'm dig. Lot of dogs. Get out of here. Is that a furry?
No, that's a luchador. It's different. It's very different. Not all luchadors are furries.
Okay, more Yakuza. Okay, I keep pressing the wrong button. Well, we are leveling. Okay, ow. Yeah. And then you stomp on his balls. Okay, that's... Okay, there he's dead.
Alright, so.
Oh no, I want to punch... Okay, we punched the vending machine.
Okay, so we go far left, up one level. So 1, 2, 3. So we go across 3.
Okay, cross 3.
Oh, hello.
Cross 3, there's a store on the other side. But I'm not sure if it's a food store. Why are there random cheer girls? Just, you know...
No idea.
I too would love Japanese comfort food. That would be nice. Actually, no, I had it for lunch. I had Japanese curry.
I went and got myself Doritos and salsa.
Doritos.
No! Oh, you...
Okay, I found out. I'm jealous of your lunch, Blue. Well, I made it. Ah!
Well, that was your fault. Oh, you can...
I already recruited one of those guys.
Yeah, but like apparently, like there's different skins of the guys.
Oh no, I got that exact shade already.
Ah, okay. Alright, and then it's this one we want, because we needed to go, like, 2 more.
Okay, that's a bookstore. That's not what I need.
Nope.
So... Freaking pompadour looking ass. Grenade! The amount of violence that's allowed in public is extremely high.
Well, it's River City.
Ooh, money.
Money. Alright,
Money. I'm
yep.
gonna go down to go buy some stuff.
Okay.
Money can be exchanged for goods and services.
$20? Oh, I wanted a peanut.
$20 can buy many peanuts.
Explain how.
Money can be exchanged for goods and services.
Woohoo!
I actually do like the older seasons of Simpsons because
Every Australian loves the older seasons of Simpsons.
it made more sense. It was funnier, and there was a lot of things that you could feel very relatable. I do remember that episode where the Simpsons go to Australia and then Bart just introduced cane toads.
Mm-hmm.
I'll buy milk, $30. Figure, what's up with the inflation in this place?
Good.
The economy is just in shambles.
I won't eat it just yet.
Yeah, there's
And
probably
then
going to be
I'll-
another store we can go to for other stuff.
Fine, leave.
Fine, leave.
Fine, leave.
Why, man? You inflation? No, T-Pain.
AO, inflation.
All right. Are you dead?
All right, hang on. This, yeah, that guy's dead. All right, so we need to go back up.
This is gonna be great. Also, just letting you know, I think I have a bacon rod in my storage for later. I don't remember why I put a bacon rod in there. I think area one's coming. Oh my god, is that freaking Wesker I'm holding? Oh no, he just died. Okay. Did you just recruit a more cop?
Yeah, like I said, I was offline.
I wanted the money. I wanted the money. Shut up.
Clip it, chat. This is an experienced River City 2 streamer. So, yeah. Actually, speaking of clipping and such like that, I remember the thingamajig I wanted to do. Like, Blue, what do you think of like gift subs as incentives to subscribing?
Okay, so
incentives
what-
to clipping. Sorry.
Wait, gifting subs for clips or what? What are we talking about here?
So the idea, like, cause, all right, I'm gonna do, so one of the things I want to do, actually, I'm gonna do this right now, cause I can, because I want to say thank you to Pork and King at the very least. Ding, dong. Because yeah, like for the last like, what? Oh yeah, we're in 6 months. For the last 6 months, Pork and King has been clipping my channels and what have you. And in the last month
Thank
of
you,
May,
Grant, for the tier 1 gift sub to the Pork King _
for the last like in the last month, like back in May, they did like so many clips and were also responsible for like the most views. Like they had at least one clip that was like the most views, unfortunately, was like still only like 10 views, but still most viewed clip of the month. So, oh god damn you! I just walked off the edge like an idiot. So yeah, what are your thoughts on like when, like going back over like the clips in like the last month or what have you, and whoever's like did the clip like with the most views and such like that, they get a gift sub, and if they're already subbed, then they can nominate a viewer to be gifted the sub.
It's a weird notion. You're technically monetizing.
Ah!
Did you just get hit by the sword?
Yes, because I accidentally threw it.
So I
we need to
kind
go
of.
up.
Yeah, I kind of think that gifting subs for that is. It's not necessarily a good thing. It's not necessarily a bad thing. But it can promote some awkward behavior.
You mean
I
like
wouldn't
botting
use it-
behavior where like they'll start like doing some weird like artificially inflating it because now there's like an incentive for them to. Oh damn it! You can't. I do want to try and get this robot. So
I wouldn't really promote it as an incentive at all. Like maybe you could like, oh, thank you so much for doing a lot of clipping and all that, and maybe they clipped one of the most viewed clips in a long while. You could try and give them something else, like maybe whatever you specialize in. Like, if it was me, I'd be like, oh, here, have some art I drew of your character or something. Doing it as a gift thing is very awkward. Like, it's different to like for example something that Joel bet that if I roll made on their roulette, they give me a gift sub. And what do you think happened?
It rolled made. Okay.
Yep, and I got the gift sub. So for them,
I'm gonna try and get this. Hey.
oh shit! Oops.
I want it. I
You want
only have,
another
like-
cop?
Yeah,
You
because
want
I only have
another-
like one rookie now. Also, what? What's here? Oh,
What's that?
never mind. It's probably just a box or something.
I didn't see the game feed.
you see it?
Don't worry, I'm here.
Wild Saber is hitting me with a "Did you see it?" and I have no clue what they're talking about.
Oh, that's actually a good idea. Like a VR chat pose with him.
VR chat
be-
pose as a longtime subber would be a fun thing. I don't do VR chatting that much, and Lord knows I probably could do something in VR chat, but hang on.
Oh,
so
I know what you
VR
could
chat
do.
Poses, like
Oh, I know what you could do. You could do like a VR chat pose of like your character like this, like you know your arm out, but you have an empty slot there. It's like an employee of the month or something like that. And you just post it somewhere on your stream.
honestly, okay, so hang on. So I can get behind that idea. So basically, there's like a wall or something like that. So similar to how we have like my cork board. Oh, Jesus.
Oh,
So
you
similar
need
to-
you need.
No, I'm good. Oh, I need a heal. There we go. So similar to how I have the cork board with all the fan art and such like that on the starting soon screen, I could have another wall where it's basically employee of the month or something like that. Or
Yeah.
it's
Or
clipper of the month. And so it will have like their profile icon on and maybe okay.
Yeah.
Because then that
Okay,
way
in other words-
it's not a monetizable. It's not something where it's like, oh yeah, there's like a quote unquote money kind of thingy-majiggy involved or anything like that, but there would still be recognition for it.
In other words, my laptop kicked the bucket. It's in for repairs. Hopefully I get an upgrade because that thing ran like shit. You should really, at that point, like, end the financial year sales. Well, for us in Australia.
Oh, I remember this girl.
I'll say.
An oxygen 220, which
you
is
remember us?
made it
Shop at
possible
your
for
store all the
Jeeps to
time.
swim no longer will need to
Shops?
use ladders. Nice.
Can't remember.
I need for portable use. I technically own 3 PCs. One of them is my gaming laptop. That was my original stream setup.
Good.
What are you using that laptop for now? Because is it still being used in the streaming or
Shut
Or is
your
it something
face
else now?
before I shut it for you, goon.
because that's ridiculous.
Okay.
Step aside. I'll take
Well,
these pesky.
I'll tell you when we get into the fight
The
because...
customer is always right.
The customers will soon be dead.
Definitely.
Nah, I agree with her. The customers will soon be dead.
For that head.
Got it.
Alright, boss fight. So that laptop is actually being used as my actual laptop when I go elsewhere, you know. Especially when I go traveling, like if I want to, you know, use a PC somewhere. Okay. Oh my goodness. Oh, you got hit. Alright, this is gonna be annoying.
Oh.
How did I do this?
There we go. You just need to like sort of jump at the edge.
Ah, freaking Mountain Dew's covering the arena.
Nice kill.
Oh,
Hiya!
once again, pressing the wrong button.
I'm using Monster Hunter physics. Okay. Oh no, you just jump while walking. Okay. Like just don't. Ooh. Why are you targeting me? I see that we think alike. Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna... Well, no you don't. Ugh. Whoa. Oh wait, how did she miss? How did she miss both of us from that attack?
Oh no.
This isn't radioactive water. It's what is it? It's sewage. Okay, I guess we both fall. Okay, I need to heal. Abusing invincibility frames. Grant's almost dead, more aggressive. Like, it's because like compared to him in different games, like he's more violent in fighting games, whereas me, I'm still trying to figure out stuff.
Yeah, I'm still...
Okay. Oh, shit. Oh, okay, not attack her when she does that. Can I freaking move? She's having a... Oh, God, how... Come on. Okay.
Here we go.
Alright, how are we doing this? Oh, come on! Okay, I need to actually consume that, otherwise I will insta-die. Yep. Oh, you touched the water and instantly died.
It's not fair! It kept throwing me in the water! Survive for me, Blue!
Yeah, I stomped her balls!
What?
She was on the ground and I stomped her.
Where am I?
Oh, jeez.
You ain't having kids.
Let's split. I'll split you in half. I mean,
Are you okay, Miss,
Marion Kelly.
you didn't seem like yourself.
I wasn't. These Yakuza had me under some kind of spell.
Sorry for kicking you in the head so much.
Don't be.
Now I just have to wait to be
Seemed to do the
revived by
trick.
you going into
And I
another
can take a
room.
good punch.
Nice work on the 33%.
What do you remember last?
Zenoger is in your chat!
I'm not sure.
He's been there for a while.
Kind of a
Sorry, I
blur.
barely paid attention.
start at
He's
the
not
beginning?
Rajong.
Beginning of this story, not your childhood or anything like that.
Yeah, I don't want to hear your childhood. I just want to hear what happened recently.
I came to River City a few years ago with my close friends, Billy and Jimmy Lee.
Wait, which one were you close with?
We were all pretty close.
Wait, are Billy and Jimmy Lee the DLC characters that I've been seeing on the
Yeah,
character
yeah,
slot?
Double Dragons.
Ah, okay.
But while they were fighting ninjas in ancient temples or robots in underground complexes,
I hate robots.
I'd be left waiting for them to rescue me. Waiting, and waiting, and waiting.
Getting buff.
Until one adventure, I got sick of getting punched in the gut, sick of getting kidnapped, and sick of waiting around to be rescued. So, I decided to rescue myself.
Hell yeah! You are so amazing, Marion.
Without a damsel in distress to rescue, the brothers got tired of going on adventures. They set up a pair of dojos here in River City.
Oh yeah, we've seen those guys.
Oh yeah, they're employed.
But me? I was just getting started on my own adventures.
Could she be any cooler? Honestly, I doubt it.
My last mission took me to a creepy section of Flatirons, chasing some supernatural crimes.
Uh-oh, things getting spooky again.
I don't like it.
But before I could find out who was behind things, I started feeling woozy. And then everything went black.
Everything went black. And then I
Next thing
arrived on the
know,
Skyrim
I was
cart.
with you two, getting my head kicked.
Yeah,
Hello.
sorry again about that.
Don't be. Obviously, your attacks
Hi there,
helped
Goldie.
knock me
Welcome to
out
the
of whatever
stream.
hypnosis I was under.
You mean like a spell?
Maybe. I did sense an evil presence just before I collapsed in that forest.
Why does it have to be an evil presence?
You're expecting a friendly, mind-controlling presence?
I mean, maybe?
I've got to get back to Flatirons and find out who took control of me. Then crush them into pulp.
Wait, join our crew and we
Hey.
can help you.
Yeah, we're also trying to save the city.
And afford some video games.
Mostly save the city, though.
I don't know.
Affording
You
video
two think you
games
can
is a
keep
lot
up
of
with
busy
me?
work.
We can try.
I know, right?
Let's give this a shot.
I have to wait till I get paid before I can afford anything. Alright, so now we met the condition to play as Marion.
Oh, cool.
But she will start off as level 1.
Oh, we got some.
Also, you can come back to life now. 5,000 XP, more money,
We'll
we
have to
got
wait for
more
you.
music.
Like this. Let's go home.
No way.
I lost my Terminator, man!
Find whoever put her under that spell.
All right, we just need to
Research it
recruit
from the
these.
safety of our home computers.
Do you even have a computer?
Yes, Uwu.
Aw.
Yes, really, Ruby, you just show up and put me in the princess outfit every single time. Also, I would hate to get hit by like a bicycle chain. That would actually
All right,
hurt.
hang on. Stop it. Never mind. You just destroyed
What?
it. Cause like we can't grab them unless they're the last one as well. So like if there's like still one more adversary, they will never go into begging mode.
Just checking what's under here. Don't. Wait, what? Wait, what?
So we're at the
What the heck?
abandoned. Hey, look, it's Thomas
Don't-
the Tank Engine.
Oh, there's something in here.
Huh?
The wall said, "Don't punch dead inside." I feel like there has to be something in here. There's my bicycle chain.
Nah,
No,
I think it's
hey,
just a
freaking- Oh well. Also, freaking, I activated my windows, man. Who the heck is Fork Knight? Fork Knight?
I think it's just a joke on Fortnite.
Okay,
that's
so
what
we
it is.
got. Wait, that train looks like Thomas the Tank Engine.
Yeah, that's what I said. Were you not paying it?
Oh, you are on the up ramp. I was below. Okay, that freaking plank missed me. Okay, I think it's not dead. I think she just fell into the pit and died.
Alright, I'm just waiting on. Who are you hitting?
Random stuff. Wait a minute. Is that the SCP logo? That is the SCP logo.
Let me have a look. It's partially, but it's slashed through, so we don't know what the full thing is. So, probably one of those examples of it looks like Godzilla, but due to international copyright law, it is not.
But the SCP Foundation is under Creative Commons.
Is it?
Oh, this is a hideout. Yeah, it's under
Ah.
Creative Commons.
This looks like a good place to chill when we need a break.
Sub, dub, what do you like? Well, I'm not gonna
Safer than a cage.
diss what's better, like dubbed or subbed or whatever.
It has its place depending on the media. Alright, so here's the political answer, alright? There are some materials where it can be translated into your preferred language of like dubbed, and it can still hit well. So believe it or not, the subbed or dub argument that still exists even in Japan when they look at mediums such as King of the Hill, King of the Hill or Adventure Time. Like there is questions of like subbed versus dub in those areas, and and they have some valid criticisms where there is some like sort of mannerism with like the Texan accent that doesn't really convey well when they do the dubbing into Japanese and what have you. But every culture has its arguments and such. There are some genres, such as comedies, where it is a little bit difficult to whether it is subbed or dubbed to be taken in very, very well. But I would say, under the right circumstances, where there isn't a lot of danger of innuendo or comedy translation, dubbed can still work well. So things like in Studio Ghibli or My Hero Academia, where those are those are very agnostic genres. They're not deep into a culture, and if they are deep into a culture, the dubbing into that culture's native language probably is a good idea and will not be lost in translation. Make sense?
Well, it makes sense, but you kind of went overboard with it.
I'm sorry. Alright,
here's the thing, when it comes to dubbed or subbed, it just depends, all right? It just depends on what you're actually watching, to be honest. I wouldn't diss newer anime dubs nowadays because the quality's gone better.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go back in time, you'll be like, this is hilarious.
All right.
On another note, I had to RMA my NVMe SSD I got last year. It started to bend and flex under the heat. How the hell did your freaking SSD start doing that?
They just said, thanks to a couple of years of good heat. And what's more is all NVMEs normally get screwed in on one side. So if you don't do the standoff correctly, or worst case scenario, you ignore the standoff. All right, do you want to see if you can try and get this whip lady?
Whip lady, freaking! I'm trying to get a dominatrix on my team.
Don't make it sound as if you're disappointed in the option.
Well, she's actually guarding.
I find doing 2 hits is safe. Because you can do a 1-2 combo and then wait.
Nah, she was dying. She refused to give it. She refused to submit.
Oh no, because she isn't the last one. That's why. It's this gunman.
Okay, wait, is there another one?
Nah, I think that's the only one.
Oh, there was another one!
Ah. There we go.
I already got this guy. Sure, why not? I can't get him because of the freaking couch!
There you go.
Sure, why not? Because remember, back in the day when it comes to English dub and all that, the quality wasn't exactly there.
Okay, so we do need to go down and to the right. Thanatos
Well, I didn't mean
finally
to go...
appeared for me in Hades. Hey, nice work on getting through Umori of Hades. Nice.
Wow.
So proud of you.
How much is the freaking SSD nowadays?
Oh, how long is a string? Sorry, that took a... Sorry, ask your question again.
So, obviously, I think SSDs have gone up in price, as usual. Everything goes up in price. It's the rules of inflation and the economy. But,
This himbo with a baby.
But obviously... Oh, what the heck? Who are you?
He seems to think you're good people.
Happy baby noises.
I
got lucky recently getting a 2 terabyte one for 285 USD.
That's kind of decent. There was definitely a time when 2 terabytes would have been less than 200 USD. But they've obviously we don't get nice things anymore for personal PC building now, which is really unfortunate. Gradually lose ST.
Ooh, that coin purse looks nice.
Pick up more money from defeated enemies. I don't have
I'll
the
grab
money for
that.
it, so you can grab it.
Okay, why does this old lady sound like she's from Hades?
Because she probably is. Gen 5. Ooh, okay. That's good. That's good.
Man, she sound like freaking chaos.
Oh, wrong button. My bad. Ow. Okay, so I can't change my inventory until we...
Well, who the heck are you freaking warlock weirdos? Magic Man! Ow, 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 ow. In the gut, in the gut.
I don't think I have it. So, oh, there we go. Gonna swap the policeman for you. There we go. But yeah, holding a little baby man to compare the baby with the baby as he... Like, look at...
Look at him. That drive, was my game drive.
Taking long strides to
Yikes.
get places faster. I'm not that much bigger than Artemis. Like, I'm only like I'm only like an inch or two.
I need that salad.
Oh yeah, no, I should have done... brain.
I should re-equip stuff. I need to re-equip stuff.
Yeah, as do I. Hang on.
Ah, freaking Magic Man! Oh my god, it's a whole group of nerds.
I see the nerds, Sir Dragon.
Oh my god.
Alright, throw him. Don't hit them too hard.
Okay.
I
Guess it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, that's for you. Sorry.
Thank you, Steel Melter, for 30 bits. Steel Melter? Wait, how do you melt steel?
When you get all the parts to build a PC again, you should do a Zeebs build stream. Nah. PC building, like, here's the thing, is PC building is not going to happen for a while, first and foremost. But then secondly, like, I'm not much for doing that much IRL content for streaming. Because here's the thing, is like, streaming for me is the hobby
Yes, they
while
are
playing
still
video
Starbits.
games. Sorry?
Those are Starbits. I got that as a reference. I have it based on like the Japanese star candy. Yeah. I see that you got a wand. Sorry, I get it out of mine due to Mario Galaxy. I based it on that.
Ghosts?
I don't believe in ghosts.
Yeah, but they're like right there.
Oh, it's like
What the heck are these things?
it's like Spirited Away with the
Supernatural.
spirits.
Anyway, this seems like a pretty safe place to chill too, because
If you say, because nothing's safer than
There's a cute mouse on the sauna sign.
well, I won't say it now.
Oh.
Wait, it's a store?
Alright, what's in the sauna?
Well, get in here! Ain't you never seen a door before?
Saunas are a quick and cheap way of replenishing your stamina and SP. You can do it alone or with your group.
Well, you're Mr. Moneybags.
So $30 for everybody or $20 for
Oh,
yourself?
actually, I have more money than you, so I will use the sauna for all.
For all.
There we go.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll pay for the next one.
Come on back anytime you're feeling run down, huh? I'll get you pumped up.
Good KSP and you'll find amazing sights. Alright, hang on. Yeah,
Oh, wait,
okay, so
well,
we need to go back out to the left and then down and then to the right, so...
Did we just come in here just to have a sauna?
Basically. Alright, I need to review
Okay,
my
I'll take it.
chance of poison with heavy attacks. Heavy attacks have a chance to do shock. Okay, so I got two different things doing that.
Why do you have a tuna? Because I can. It does get scared when I swing with it, though.
Because he was trying to tune a piano.
Okay, I now get more money from defeated enemies. I need the money. Freaking, I need to...
Alright, so we need
Oh
to
my god, they're back again! Hey, yeah! Take this! Oh, my fish! Okay, who... Oh, are you electrifying them?
Maybe.
Ow.
Alright, do you want to try and get... Oh, never mind.
Oh no, I already heard the sound that he died. So we go down. Wow, I just come all the way here to go into a sauna with Zeebs.
Don't make it sound like as if you didn't enjoy it.
I'm a fan of saunas and jumping into a cold bath afterwards. It's great for the skin.
Yeah, I'm personally a fan for spa and sauna days. That's on my to-do list to do with Artemis, because you can do like couples massages and such, and you get like a discount compared to just going by yourself. Who hit you?
I hit myself. I feel like you need a particular weapon.
I'm dinging it every time, so it's all good.
So how's everyone doing at the moment? You're doing well? At the moment, I do know that Spunky's raid train is still going. I think we're almost down to the last person.
Jesus.
Decent-ish.
Decent-ish is good.
Wait, where am I going? Okay, apparently I meant to jump over these things. Whoever's can of drink that was, well, I'm not sorry.
Got mine right here.
Okay, we're about to fight a freaking witch. Dab.
I think we're lost.
We're not lost.
You know where we are?
No, but that's not the same as being lost.
I think that's still lost.
Is this going to be one of those Lost Woods scenarios?
Highly recommend ones that offer complimentary ointment oils and towers to make it more relaxing. Yeah. Here's the thing as well, is that when you go for like a spa by yourself, it's very totalitarian-y. It's like, ah, yes, you're doing these things either for a medical thing or it's just for this one thing. But if you go for like a couple's spa package or something like that, oh, they go out the nines. They're like, ah, yes, we'll do towels, we'll do lotions, we'll do all this extra kind of nonsense. Also, syllables.
I was gonna recruit him.
Too late. I recruited him.
Freaking I'm the one who did all the hard work.
And I thank you for that. You can get the next one after I do all the hard work.
This guy, I swear.
Besides, you owed me one.
I owed you a sauna, not a recruit.
What if we can't find
Also,
our
where
way
the frick are we?
die here?
I'll have no regrets.
No, I have no regret.
Well, I mean, maybe getting lost and dying in some creepy woods, but that's it.
Yeah, I'm not much of a fan of dying in the woods, because that's not part of my
You could have
plan.
recruited that one.
I already got that one. Like, that specific color.
Also, if we put out the map. Yeah, we're not... Oh, no, we are lost. Okay.
So, there's a left path and a right path.
Let's go left.
Too bad there isn't a section up there. Would have been cool. It would be cool.
They're like, you're a couple, oh my god, time to pamper you so you can return for a yearly tradition.
Okay, we might actually
good.
be lost now.
See?
Don't gloat. Nobody likes a know-it-all.
Very very little I know about what's going on right now.
My character is literally a bimbo.
Alright, I will get this guy. Hang on.
Well, if he stops spinning around like a moron.
There we go. Ah, damn it.
Yeah, you killed him.
I heard the
you
little
did-
thing at the last minute, I'm sorry.
Where are we? This is gonna be one of those. Actually, I see one that says this way. Okay, I see how they solve this dilemma. Like, it's whoever goes in the door first. What the heck? Oh, Magic Man! Alright, should be down to 1. Or they just straight up die. What's this? Sure. Oh, great. Zombies. It's not part of my plan, but... Get out of here. I don't have time to deal with, you know, The Walking Dead. Where are they? Oh! Ow, 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 ow. Yeah! Alright, how you looking, buddy? I'll replace that slot, please. Also, thanks for the money. It's interesting. Oh, like, just to randomly recruit the undead. Ow. I do need to buy some new moves. Like, we should go and buy ourselves more food items or healing items. Just so you know, everyone, I do not recognize the bodies in the water.
I don't know why you would. This isn't your hometown.
Yeah, I do not recognize the bodies in the water. Why does the Black Moon howl? $3,000 XP and $100.
And some runners.
Oh, we already leveled up, so. Ooh, there's a shop up here. Why is there a random shop up here?
What kind of shop?
Good afternoon.
Welcome.
Temp shop. Effect with heavy attack. Ooh.
It's a temp potion, eh? I'm gonna buy water juice.
That is definitely one of my better creations.
No refund. I'm pretty sure that won't
I'm pretty sure that won't explode. And I'll buy the shock juice,
This
I
is
guess.
almost certainly of acceptable quality.
Probably.
Wow, an actual customer.
Think it'll happen again?
Actual customers. Ow, 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 ow. Alright, I gain the ability to freeze things with my heavy attack.
Oh.
Freeze! That will put you on ice. I myself am just pretty much just chilling and vibing.
There we go.
I do like a good old-fashioned beat 'em up every now and then. Sometimes you need to have something that's completely brainless.
This is not pointless for me. I am trying really hard.
Okay, ooh. I'm getting back the money I spent. Get dabbed on. Fertilizer time. Ow. Ow. Excuse me, mate. Freaking, that's un-Australian. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna follow the signs that say this way.
I don't see signs that say this way. You'll need to point that
They're
out
in
to
the
me.
back. They're in the background. Hey, watch it. I'll use my frying pan as a drying pan. Okay, I think he's the last one. Oh!
There we go. He's available for you.
Alright. I'll take your money. Alright,
Oh, there's a little symbol right there.
oh yes, we're gonna follow the magical runes to our destination.
That seems like... That sounds about right.
Okay, there's a sign that says that way, pointing towards the left. Symbol, do something! I do need to buy some more accessories. Did he just bitch slap me?
He's a luchador. It's part of his...
Yeah. I'll add you to the team. This way.
There's this way as well.
Okay, okay, first, that sign says that way. There's another one this way. Actually, no. This is a path that I was following before. I am in the Lost Woods. I'm going to become a freaking, what is it? What's the name of that Zelda enemy again? Wait, we've already been here before. Get dabbed on. Yeah, we've already been here before. Okay, so if I go back... Alright, this is going to require us to think for a bit.
Oh no, are you shitting me?
We go this way. This path that's on this side. Don't worry, I'll help you get past this area.
I was busy though.
We're back at the entrance. Okay, I noticed that there's the runes on top now. Whoa! Okay, if you have the ability to use actual magic, could you, like, I don't know, cast a wish spell? Okay. Well, I think we just follow the runes.
Alright.
I think those signs that say that way just lead you the way out. That's my understanding of it. Get dabbed. Trust me, tasting blood in your mouth is a bad thing. Like, when I was playing lacrosse one time, I actually had to get pulled off the field because I started bleeding from the nose. I was told not to swallow, so you know how you tilt your head up? And then the blood just goes to the back of your mouth? I ended up...
I heard you have to tip down is better.
That you tipping down just increases the amount of blood you lose. So I tilt up so that way it starts pooling. And I think from I ended up spitting out like half a small paper cup. It wasn't ideal. It wasn't fun.
Is here again.
Okay, so we gotta find the room. Yeah, so up leads to the shop. Left takes us to the exit, or the entrance of the place. So I already went up that way. That leads us back to the entrance. Not exactly where I want to go.
I was gonna try and recruit that one because he looked different.
There's no way we could get this lost this fast.
Oh god.
Be casting a spell on us or something.
What?
Everyone is running. That's funny.
Yeah, but those hallways are long, and they all look the same.
Oh, goodbye. I didn't even get the money for that. What a scam. Danger below. I told you.
Yeah. Anyway, Sir Dragons was asking me, so you were saying swallowing blood was bad, and you had like a half a paper cup of blood at one point.
Yeah, I was spitting it out. It's okay. So the blood that you spit out from a nosebleed is from a burst blood vessel. Like you'll notice this a lot more in summer, where your blood vessels will get irritated, and they have what you call bad blood. It's like it's not something you want to consume.
Okay, do you mind slowing down?
Oh wait, yeah. Which one you want gone?
I'm gonna try and get rid of it.
Okay, we'll get. Okay. Oh.
All right. So they're gone. All right. One. There we go. Yep. That's a new one for me.
Yeah. So swallowing blood is really bad. You might end up consuming contaminated blood or bad blood, or you'll get that iron taste, and you'll have that iron aftertaste, which will lead you to becoming more sick. Dilapidated cabin.
My God, we're nearly dead.
Okay, one of us just needs to die, and then we just punch the other one alive.
Everywhere, just like Marion described.
This must be near where she passed out. Come on, let's keep going.
Dead in her bed? Ouija board? Who has Ouija board on their tombstone?
Compose. Oh, decompose.
Lazy bum. Alright, we need to find a place. Really? We're going to go into the crypt? Yeah, large quantities will be bad for you.
Looks like some kind of...
In my case, if I had to swallow my blood, it'd be like mouthfuls. That's not good.
Skeleton market.
I just said that.
I know. You're very perceptive.
Who the heck is Snap? Well, the item that's helping me get more money is great. Is that water by freaking gay?
Oh, hey, shop.
Shop, give me your goods. And the Shadow Realm?
Ah,
Shadow Billy? Monkey bread.
Well then.
Ghoster strudel. Buttermilk donut. And you know what? I'm gonna buy one of everything.
Did it. Always lean forward, not backwards to prevent blood from draining down your throat. There we go. Yeah, so I was right.
Store this.
Monkey bread is amazing if you've ever had it IRL. Never had it IRL. I've had banana bricks. Banana bread's good. Oh, hey, it's a Skelly boy.
Hey, you're that skeleton who greeted us when we first arrived.
'Tis true, 'tis I.
You're not gonna talk like that the whole time, are you?
You sound
I
familiar.
like to bring a certain level of panache to my salesmanship, but if you're not having it,
Nah,
I
he's
can
not
tone
ringing
it
bells for
down,
me.
sure.
What is this place?
We sell unusual goods, ones you would never find in a traditional market.
Our local pawn shop has a lot of weird things for sale.
Well, yes, maybe a bit of overlap there, but can they beat our prices?
Probably.
Well, we were forced to set up shop here after the witch Blair banished us in the most inhumane manner.
The Blair Witch Project.
You're not human, right?
No, technically, but people could still act a little kinder towards us.
Oh, I know who he is.
Blair stuffed my tarot cards into a t-shirt launcher and shot them out across the woods. I'm near powerless
Who?
without them.
He's voiced by Matt McMuscles. He's known.
Glorious.
So he's a Canadian YouTuber, best known for his What Happened
Oh.
franchises.
I was about to say,
series.
like, what was the name you said?
Smile from yours truly.
Matt McMuscles. That's what he's known as.
Yeah, I was
online.
about to say, Matt McMuscles was
playing
definitely not a
cards with the
real
skeleton.
name, so it wasn't a VA. It was a, yeah, YouTube.
Yeah, because
account.
I know. Sure, why not? It's gonna be something we're gonna do along the way. Yeah. So I have seen his What Happened series. Because I'm like, freaking, I recognize his voice. I don't know where.
All right, slowly, because I don't have that particular one.
Okay, you punch him.
Wait.
All right. He died.
Yeah, shame.
Oh, this game's a beat 'em up. Yeah,
Oh,
this
hey,
game
there's
is a beat 'em up.
There's another shop.
Oh, a tarot card.
One of those tarot cards?
Tarot cards?
What's a tarot?
Won't let me
I'm
in
not sure.
now.
Just keep looking.
Oh yeah. 6 Sweet Under. Let me in.
Well, hello there.
Replenish stamina by 60%. Might be poisonous.
A mighty fine choice.
You know what? It gives me +1 to stamina.
Well, ain't that the sweetest thing? This here candy
No,
is as
1 to
sweet as
strength.
you.
Chocolate-filled frog.
It's like
Yummy
a chocolate
worms.
frog, but the frog is filled with chocolate.
Store it. Cilantro licorice. That's replenish the stamina by 70%. Slight chance of hurting your stamina.
Out there, kiddo.
Also, hi there,
Oh, these-
Alex the V. Welcome. We are playing a beat 'em up RPG. Oh, thank
Fredo,
goodness, I
it's-
finally did a combo.
I should go to the dojos and learn new moves. Your symbols can't stop me. Okay, you're dead. Did he just say get over here?
You didn't say it, but he can recruit.
I already got him.
Okay.
Yeah, I already got his color variation.
Yeah, and I think I already got him as well, because my game didn't freeze or anything like that while I was doing the grab.
Alright. I think we should... Okay, we can't recruit zombies. That much I know.
Alright, so we need to go to the right.
Slopes. Oh, the shock one is pretty cool. Oh, I can chain it? Okay, legit, why are cheer girls coming all the way to this danky cemetery just to fight me?
Because you're just that attractive.
Hit with an axe by Max. Brother Jed is so dead. I told you I was sick. Rest in pixels.
Ouch, ouch, you're on my foot.
Lover of bacon. Wish I sent that chain email. Oh, it's one of those. Like, you know, those. Send this to 5 other people or you will die in the next 2 days or something.
Look at this, chat. Someone tried to milk a bull. This obviously did not go to plan.
What happened? Where is it?
Right
Tried to milk a bull. Tried to milk a bull.
Oh, hey,
Why would you
this?
do that?
Hey, it's that skeleton shopkeeper with the golden cat.
What's up, Bone Daddy?
Oh, you know, just getting
Oh, it's
Daddy?
him again!
one day at a time. You know how it is, right?
I mean, we're
I don't
not
remember
creepy
him.
skeleton monsters.
Oh, he was from the first game.
And what, pray
Oh.
tell, are the two of you doing deep in these haunted woods?
We're helping our friend Marion find out who put her under a spell.
Marion, you say? Oh, geez, never heard that name before. Is it a name?
You're hiding something, aren't you?
Fine, you've got me, I'll talk. But only because you've been loyal customers. And
This guy is from Double Dragons, by the way.
Super villain and less of a purveyor of fine goods. I tussled with the Lee brothers a few times.
Let me
Yeah,
guess.
hence
You
the Double
kidnapped
Dragon
Marion
weapons.
to get their attention.
Well, that was generally how it was done back then. But she taught me a real lesson. I could still feel her fist in my gut. Ooh, indigestion.
Did you put a spell on her?
I would never. I mean, maybe back then if it had occurred to me, but it didn't. So now I just sell trinkets and impulse items. Speaking of, are you two in the market for any snacks, appliances, or rare forbidden treasures?
Ooh,
Nope.
red forbidden
Unless
treasures.
one of them can get us through these vines.
Ah, for that you'll need ghost peppers. About 6, I'd say.
What's a hot pepper gonna do to a magic-y vine?
No, a literal ghost pepper. They're the ghosts of peppers prematurely eaten.
This town is so weird.
Indeed. I saw some ghost peppers floating around here quite recently. I'm sure you could find some if you look around.
This guy's voice, he's voiced by one of the directors at the studio. Alright, so we need to find... Okay, so yeah, we do need to find, what is it? Oh, no, it's Honk. I've been assaulted. Here's the funny thing, alright? We already reached the point where kids nowadays don't know how to read analog time.
Well, true. They can still learn it fairly quickly, though. It's just not naturally in their go-to.
Oh no, they're not getting taught it.
Hopefully there's an
Doesn't,
easy way of getting in and out of this place rather than going through that forest all over again.
I think. Okay, so where do we need to go for these ghost peppers? Like, yeah, I'm just killing them all. Ah! I'll tell you, this is actually that Okay, so that accessory I have is increasing our money gains.
I'm all good, head. I don't need another watch.
Like, here's the funny thing, if you want a Rolex, you have to go onto a wait list. Yeah, you have to go onto a wait list. for them to approve of you being a customer, and then you can buy one.
Ah, damn it.
He's dead. Who are you? Oh no, you're just some generic dude.
They're just camping.
Take this! Dun, dun, dun. Another one bites the dust. Oh, there's a shop over here. We can kill the queen. Daiso no Bakudan. Bites the dust.
What?
Oh, hey.
Welcome to our studio.
Killer.
Oh, it's more music.
Awesome.
I'll buy Roxy's theme, I guess.
I'll just grab all of them.
You know what? I have enough money. I'll buy a little more.
Later, dude.
Come by often.
How you doing, Bojic? Welcome on in. Can I eat these? No, they're... This reminds me of like this campsite is like, you know those music festivals where people come in early to pick their spots?
Vaguely.
Or something similar to Burning Man. Like people come in, gotta pick a spot. I'm not sure how I'd feel about going to those sort of music festivals, because I know that getting food and drink is very hard unless you bring your own.
Alright, so 2 in the train yard, 2 in the amusement park, 2 in the Ferris wheel.
In terms of ghost peppers,
You're
not
Bojiki.
So Bojic, you're not dead yet. Refreshing water. Get out of my way. Getting assaulted. I, for one, don't feel like being attacked. Oh wait, is this going to be one of those? Ignore the fact that I fell into the water.
Hey, it's some creepy figure in a boat. Maybe he can give us a lift.
Hey, buddy. Can we hitch a ride?
Go away.
Rude. Guess we should come back later.
He's just on his phone. What the fuck else is he gonna do?
There's nothing over there.
Yeah, because we need to go down to the ferry. We have to go through the ferryman.
Alright, so... Not dead, just not alive. That'd be me sometimes. Okay.
That'd be me today.
So, okay. Ow! Freaking get... Freaking take this! Well, we do need the money. Vulgar language! Alright. Let's keep moving. So we need to go to the Ferris wheel. The train stop is right there. Well, the bus stop's right here.
So we want the abandoned train yard.
Yep. Go for it. I'm surprised that the bus can somehow navigate the entire forest.
There we go.
How many of these things are there?
Ah, so there was a reason for my madness.
It's just for tarot cards.
Carrot cards?
And then whatever. Oh, these are the goat.
Is that a ghost pepper?
Oh my god!
Like a little haunted pepper acting spooky, so I guess so.
Oh my god, are you from Atomic Crop? I feel like you need to throw it. Alright. Alright. And then I yeet it. Oh my god. Come back here. Alright. Alright. Where's that trap? Are you just hitting it with the trap?
Yep.
I'm gonna try and yeet it into the trap. Alright, we pick it up and then yeet it in. Oh, dang it, it gained enough health to come back. Oh my god! Why won't you...
Oh,
Actually,
you need
no,
to
you're
stand
already
over
dead.
it. So you need to...
These things we need?
5 more.
Wait, what? Stand over it?
So you need to...
so we
yeah.
just pick it up and...
Yeah, and then
pick it
walk
up
over
and-
it. Yep, and there you go. That's for you. Press Y. Nope.
Got another one. They're actually kind of cute.
There we go. Got 2 from the train yard, so now we gotta go to the amusement
Haunted.
park and the Ferris
Don't
wheel.
forget that part.
I know that graffiti, I think, is based on The Completionist. I think it's because we're in a scenario that we can't fast travel. Ow, you trying to bury me?
Oh yeah, because this thing.
Hello, Alu. How you doing? Welcome on in. Here, I'll give you a shout out. I would ask my mods, but currently I am having one of them as a guest.
Hi.
How you doing, Alu? Okay, so what is stopping us from, I did see a path we could take. Ah, it's one of those. We gotta go through each area from the beginning to the end. Our amusement park! No, we can't shove humans into the trap. Hola! I'm EP, how are you? I'm doing pretty okay, personally. I got the GrantZeebs. I'm a guest on his stream and he's a guest on mine.
Yep.
And we're currently dealing with freaking ghost peppers.
Yep, there's one up here.
Give me a moment, I'm getting harassed.
So yeah, so you walk it over to here, and then there will be like a little, like, indicator to like use the light attack. Oh, never mind.
Yeah, we have to. It will gain health back. Really, you're okay. I like how I knock it towards the trap.
So yeah, so you walk it over here, and then oh, there we go. Damn it! It's because the other guy is there. So like, there we go. All right.
There we go.
There.
Gotcha. How many is that so far?
12?
12, maybe 3.
Or maybe 3.
You're not
Alright,
helping.
so now we go...
Oh, don't ask
Up.
me.
We go up. Ferris wheel.
Peppers.
I don't know. That's Ferris wheel is.
Depends where
Actually, no,
it opens up.
Oh, that's to the right.
There we go.
12, but maybe 3.
She can't
5.
count. It's fine.
5, 10, 2. Alright, I'm just gonna put this thing here.
Oh, that's a platform.
Oh, thank you! The freaking enemies knocked them into it.
My hands are starting to burn.
See? They're horrible.
Never thought that a ghost pepper is just peppers that have been prematurely eaten. That implies something. There could be ghost coriander. Alright, how about this? We beat the shit out of it and then we bring it over. Oh, come on! Really? You're on a weird isometrical plane. I'm not sure that was... Oh, it just respawned. Yeah, get hit by the Ferris wheel, idiot. Devil herb, burn it. It's a ghost pepper. It's demonic. It's evil. What the heck? That tricky bastard. No, 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 you're not doing it. Not again. Can't kill ghosts, Icy. I know.
Oh, god damn you!
Ah, you freaking... Okay, I know you're... Okay, okay. Oh my god, it's over the invisible pit again. Alright. Come on, the first one was easy. Okay, we knocked it closer to the trap. I think that should do something. Okay, sometimes I wish I had a weapon. The coriander you mentioned, but it's not the pepper. Peppers are peppers. Coriander is devil herb. Alright.
There we go.
There we go.
That's 6.
Oh, it's full. Alright, where's the nearest thing to the station?
Probably
this way? Listen, I like eating coriander. I'm not affected by the salt. What was it? The soap gene. Okay, I think we should go backwards so we can take the was it the bus back?
Alright, fine.
Unless you want to go through the weird forest again. Then you're weird. How am I weird? My culture eats coriander.
Don't be too like dismayed. He is weird, just not for the coriander. He's weird for the lactose intolerance.
Lactose intolerance is just a challenge. It's an obstacle that can be overcome. We will knock down this wall. That Drake be blue. Like, anyone who's lactose intolerant, like, it's different from being celiac. Like, it's kind of the same as wheat intolerance. Like, there's a difference between wheat intolerance and celiac disease. So, wheat intolerance is akin to not being able to properly process gluten, whereas celiac disease is treating gluten as an invader. You ever look at someone and think, God, I want to kiss that?
Anytime I see my girlfriend.
What do you think? Okay, campgrounds. Gonna say no. I'm not gonna kiss you, Todd.
Wow, you have some weird parasocial viewers. They wanted to kiss you and such.
Don't worry, I know how to fend them off. I didn't mean you. What the freaking you led up to this question?
Once again, pressing the wrong prompt.
I met my girlfriend.
You ever look at someone and think, God, I want to kiss that? Yeah. My answer is, yeah, my girlfriend. And they were like, no, for whatever reason.
Like, you can't just give me a question and not give me context.
God damn.
I just did. You gave me the context after I answered. I would have answered. I would have given the thing of you ever look at someone and think, God, I want to kiss that. Looks at girlfriend or slash boyfriend or whatever your significant other is.
Yep. Hang on. So now, all right, moving on from this line of question, Todd, because you know, I feel like there's now just loss of communication, and both of us are going to be confused.
That's a mean old creepy painting.
I'm being attacked by paintings.
The artist clapping back.
The freaking artists. It's enough of a fact that you try to draw me in weird ways. Now you're attacking me with actual art.
I am not liking this character.
Okay. Oh, you're in that isometrical plane of existence.
It's yeah. This is annoying to deal with.
I just look at the shadows. If I don't see the shadows, a bit further. Still can't hear Zeebs, to be honest. Wait, so you want me to turn them up on my end?
Yes!
Give me a moment. I am being assaulted by paintings.
Yep, all good. So yeah, have you done?
Yeah,
have you set up side ducking for when one of us in the comms channel like talks and such like that yet?
No, because I never thought of doing collabs until now.
You have been doing a collab with your SO like for the last little while, and there's not been that many times of being like, I wonder if there's a way to dynamically change the volume between the aim and the comms based on whether or not my girlfriend is talking. Oh my god. Paintings!
Is freaking radium's attacking me. Okay, I get it. I've been attacked by freaking real estate art. You don't have to gloat in my face.
Yeah, I'm barely putting a thing.
Oh, you hit it with your freaking style. Yeah, you need the apple more. Yeah, you probably should change that shirt. Why am I single?
Nah, it's funny. It's a funny shirt. I'm gonna keep having that as an option. Besides, no one's explicitly asking for the why I'm single shirt. They keep going for random. Despite this redeem now existing for several months at this point, every time people just pick random. They do not try and find a shirt. They just go, oh, let me just go random and see what happens. They don't pick.
To be fair, random is the more fun option. Do I need to buy more food? I still got 3 items.
Always good to buy food, because, like, you've got barely any stamina on you.
I cannot get.
Oh, yeah, I might as well eat something from here.
This is peculiar.
There you go. Well done.
I hope we meet again.
See,
in this
even Sir
life
Dragon, you have seen many of these shirts. You have seen all the different kinds of shirts there are, and you still go for random. At some point, I'm probably. I don't.
It's like playing Tekken and you pick Mokujin.
If that's the case, why the fuck did I go through all this effort trying to find a way for people's inputs to be validated? That just means I've wasted a weekend trying to interpret everyone's little nuances of oh I want the Final Fantasy shirt, and then I have to be like, oh, do you mean the Final? And then someone's like, oh no, the Final Fantasy green shirt, or no, oh you mean the Chocobo shirt. Put a list here somewhere then. Fine. I'll put a fucking list in. I'll do clutter, which is an absolute terrible design. Rather than just people being rewarded for coming to the stream and being like, hey, I've been here before. I know what some of these shirts do. Ooh, I'll just ignore the moderator action of the robot Zeeb saying, hey, Grant is now wearing this shirt.
I'm just buying a ton of the candy corn and the cilantro licorice because they heal a ton, but the downsides are like, I'm poisoned. It's okay, I'm poisoned.
It's just lists are boring, and what's more is I now have to put in the extra effort of I probably need to go through my because if I'm gonna do a list, then that means that there's no point in me coming up with a switch case for all the different interpretations of X shirt or something like that. So it's now another weekend of me, yeah.
Alright, so what else do we need?
Oh, and
to
is
do
it?
here?
Hang on a sec. Is it doing what I'm thinking it's doing?
Oh, next area.
Yeah, look at that! Exclamation point shirt, and it gives you 3 random possible shirts. Oh my goodness. Who'da thunk? Who'da thunk to do that? Who'da thunk to have a little shirt command that'll give you 3 exemplars at random rather than just hitting you with a wall of text or having to open up in another browser, because some people will just be oh hey, I'm watching the stream, but if I want to have a look at shirts, I have to open up a browser window, and if I'm on mobile, it means that I get pulled out from the Twitch stream. How considerate.
How considerate. Here's the thing, I make things as easy as possible for my viewers.
That's what I did here.
But I do have to also assume that my viewers are trying to put things in the square hole when it shouldn't always go in the square hole.
I feel like that.
Are you on my foot? Well, not anymore.
Is it working?
Maybe you have a shirt list command that has all of them and not just 3 randoms, just a suggestion.
I see after.
Here's the okay.
And haunted.
Here's the thing.
They died?
I have a lot of shirts.
That's not.
It's going to look terrible. Hang on a second. Let me
They
just
become ghosts of
ding ding
ghosts.
donk.
Yeah,
Because here's the thing: is that it's going to look terrible in only text form, which means that I would then have to create an Excel spreadsheet or some other the Tron goes into the cube hole. Yeah, hang on a second. Let me sorry. This is now derailed me, and this is probably this autism in me that's just I'm just not in the mood of people hang on, where is it?
Give me a second. Enemies are spawning while you do your thing.
Yeah. Do I have it as a shirt values? Here we go. This is an S. Yeah. So, to put into context, there are 27 shirts. 27 different shirts right now, and with the potential of more coming along the way, because now I've been able to replicate this. I used to have like less than a dozen shirts. Actually, not even true. I had 2 shirts when I got this zebra model. 2. It was the original blue shirt, and then it was this himbo, like, you know, thingamadiggy that I got. I have gone from 2 shirts to these 27, and look at that. That is terrible to read. That is an absolute shit way of presenting the different shirts and what have you. So now comes the very fun bit of like, okay, if we want to have a list of, you know, doing an entire, like, rather than just doing like, you know, like, you know, if we want to try and present like, you know, nice and manageable, you want to give like, you know, 3 potentials with like, you know, commas or what have you. If you want to show the full list, then having all of them as like just the text, absolutely terrible. So then you do. So then you do a spreadsheet. So then that way it's like, oh yeah, like, you know, in a table format. But then that means you're asking people who are in the middle of watching your stream to look away from the stream. And if they're on a mobile phone, you're asking them to open up another app, which means that they are even more further removed from your stream when all this kind of nonsense goes on, which is not a good viewing experience. Like, I get it. Someone might out there has like an Excel spreadsheet of like 500 potential like different bits that do something, where it's like, if you do 1 bit, it's this. If it's 10 bits, it's this. If it's 5, this. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Like, I've seen that. But I'm gonna be frank with you, that is probably like one of the more, it's a very cool data entry way, but it's such a terrible way while someone is in the middle of your streams to be like, hang on, let me find out which bit would be good to do while you're in the middle of streaming.
I'm going to have to break you from that a bit. You're basically giving everyone so much choice that it's better to pick random. Yeah, it's legit better to pick random because you don't know how many options there are. Also, what the heck is going on?
Yeah.
Ghosts.
I got a really bad headache all of a sudden.
But yeah, that's why with the shirt command, it presents you with 3 options. So then that way, hey, if someone is thinking, hey, shirt, alright, they're then presented the 3.
I still think though, like, it being limited to like 6 is easy for a list, but I didn't know you had 27 shirts.
Yeah, because guess what? It's fun coming up with shirt designs, and what's more is this has been done over several, like, I've been streaming for like 5 years. There have been all kinds of video games that I have played, and there's been all kinds of silly shirts. Like, this is how I started off with. This was a shirt that was given to me by Unnamed Gene, which was fantastic. This is when I went through the critically acclaimed MMORPG Final Fantasy XIV, and potentially going to be wearing this with any other Final Fantasy games. This is the shirt I wore for Space Marines, both Space Marines 1 and Space Marines 2. This was a limited time promo with Booster Pang. This is the shirt I wore when I was going through Baldur's Gate 3 because we were doing some D&D nonsense. Limited time shirt over here. God of War. Remember God of War? I certainly do. This is the shirt I wore in my first year of Halloween. This is the shirt I wore for Halo. There are a lot of shirts because of the fact that I am not some, like, no name that's only been here for a couple of months. This is 5 years.
Yeah, we're having a meltdown. Okay, so to keep it short, I think there's way too much choice. Way too much choice. I'm not saying for you to get rid of shirts.
It sounds like it. When you're making a note of there's too many choices, it sounds like you want to get rid of shirts. That's what it sounds like. And then it's going to be this fun little thing of, oh, what about this one? And then someone is going to be like, would be cool if you had this kind of a shirt. And then that shirt gets added. And then the cycle continues again.
I think you should do what I did and what you told me to do, which was, you know how my PNG transformations, I have it switch to a default? And the default changes, depending on what I stream?
Yes.
Yes, so we actually decide to limit the ones that are available depending on the type of stream.
This looks like the place Marion described.
We're not removing them, we're just changing the choices around.
Oh damn, that's gonna be so much fucking work though.
Yeah. Or if you can somehow do it, have it where every time you stream, you have like, let's say 10 random shirts selected from the list that are available. What the heck is this?
May I remind
How much
you of the exclamation point shirt command that exists?
Yeah.
Ow.
But it did. But stupid door. But 27 shirts is crazy. Like even I think I have too many PNGs.
That's it. The only reason there's 27 shirts is because I've decided to, like, you know, open up the curtain and show you how the sausage is made. Hey, you now know Wizard of Oz is just, you know, billows of smoke and several levers. Reactor 4 is going critical. You started this, Sir Dragon. You started this.
But I am on the side of too much choice leads to people going with the option of I'm just gonna eeny meeny miny mo.
Oh shit. What did I just do?
Oh great, why does every game I play involve freaking eating or swallowing something?
Because this is you, Blue. You have a vor thing. Oh hey, a witch.
Oh, we're fighting a boss.
Nice.
What are you two doing here? Can't you see outsiders aren't welcome?
We didn't see a sign.
The dozens of ghosts, ghouls, and mazy
Just looking at the chat, and I just realized like there's just so many messages that came from my side, and I've definitely
what do you
alienated
want?
yours. I'm
I'm
so
very
sorry.
busy.
It's okay. We gotta work on that later.
Did you cast a spell on our friend Marion?
Okay,
Today
so
restaurant paid me to say I hope my chocolate work out
Long
this
blonde
time.
hair, legendary
A co-worker
abs.
of me will.
I don't
suck
think
this
she's
month.
wait.
So I make her a box of bonbons.
So don't get all on my case about
Is
it.
that a freaking D20 in her hand?
That anyway.
Yeah, it is. But it doesn't have a D. It doesn't have the numbers on it.
Not supposed to do that.
Do you have any idea how expensive that spell was? It required rare artifacts.
I don't care how expensive your spell is. If it's gonna piss me off, I'll break it.
Now it comes out of my pocket to cast it again. I swear, I told that demon we shouldn't offer that.
Well, you could just, like, not put her back under a spell.
Don't tell me how to do my job, okay? I'm a lot better at what I do than whatever the hell you two do.
We punch and kick people.
Sometimes wrestling moves too.
Cute.
Well, to be fair though, punching and kicking people is a great way to get people out of a spell.
With punching and kicking.
And wrestling moves, like we said.
Well, that's very annoying and rude. And now I'm gonna have to destroy you both. So don't take it personally, but also don't fight it, because I've got a terrible headache right now.
Wow, she sounds relatable.
Just at the end of her limits.
Ugh, just like leave or whatever.
Okay, so we're gonna deal with her and her random Neopet. I have no idea what this means. Oh.
Judgment.
I have no idea what this means. Ow. Oh wait, we gotta kill these idiots before we... Alright, never mind. Must. The world! Freaking who's stopping time? Man, I think, is this considered abuse if her cat just keeps flying around like a legit missile? Ugh.
I super hate you.
She sounds... The lovers.
Lovers.
Oh, those two. I feel she sounds like a Starbucks employee that has to take your name and she doesn't want to.
And then she goes and misspells it on purpose.
Oh, trust me, like I had that thing when I went to Starbucks, and my name was misspelled so bad. I don't know how you got a D from it. Just so you know, my name does not contain the letter D.
Noted. I know how to spell blue.
I agree.
Also,
Man,
Artemis, you stole my shirt. God damn it. Why?
this is it's the deal. It's I put you in the maid outfit, or Artemis steals your shirt.
Oh my goodness. Judgment. Hang on.
Oh god, I'm slowed. I'm frozen, and I'm on fire. And that. As much as I like fire and ice together, I don't want to be on the receiving end. Oh, come on! Wait. Oh, we actually attacked this. Come on! Can we kill a boss without dying?
Prepare to die, I guess.
I think we can do it, Zeebs.
Yep. It's possible.
Oh! I'm okay. I'm fine. I'm fine. Okay, so a cat is just yeah. You know, sometimes like I hate dealing with magic users.
This would be one of them.
Yeah. Mostly because they're what is it? The term is they're just annoying. But if I'm using magic, I'm okay with that. It's like this. If you can heal, yeah, that's fine. But if the enemy can heal, that's against the rules.
Yeah, that reminds me of From Software when going through like one of the like humanoid peeps is like once I see them using special things, like special items that I have, I'm like, no, that's not fair. My truest, biggest pet peeve was when I was going through Bloodborne, and there was a human like mini boss or something like that, and it had an ability that I had that cost like silver bullets to use, which was like this, you know, this smoke wave dash thing. And what was annoying is
wave dash.
Yeah, so they built it into smoke and did a wave dash along the ground. Now here comes the pet peeve. It costs like 4 silver bullets to do this, and you as the player, the human player, as powerful as you are, can only hold on to 20 silver bullets at any one time. So, like seeing
you got the final hit.
Yeah, seeing the NPC do like a spamming of it, and I did a count. Because, like, you know, I had 20 bullets, which meant, and, you know, 4 per, like, wave dash, it means that I could do it 5 times at most.
You got me.
I would see it, do it 3 times in quick succession.
I can teach you if you've got
when I try and engage it. So me trying to last with like 5 of them in the entire fight, but then this NPC is just like, yeah, let me just wave dash for free. I hate that. I hate when I have resource limitations and the mini boss does not.
Wait, before we go, we need to know, why were you controlling Marion?
I told you already, because I got paid. And really well, too.
Yeah, but by who?
Okay.
Oh no, how many freaking backstories do we need to know?
Plenty. Because dinner has finished being
I was
cooked, so
born into
now
magic.
we'll eat and
Literally.
I'm very happy.
My dad was a stage magician, and Mom was a fortune teller.
Magicians.
They love their jobs.
A magician and a fortune teller got married.
Sweet. I love a good love story.
But over time, their love faded. They needed more in their lives. So they cast a special spell, and 9 moons later, I came along.
Well, so that's what we call it. Cast a special spell and wait 9 moons.
They told me everything they knew at a young age. I was a powerful witch by age 4, controlling creatures and minds by age 6.
Wait, like dark art stuff? You don't hang out with that Yamada guy, do you?
He's a poser.
Right.
Dad took one of of his tricks too far, and it vanished them both from this realm.
Oh, shit.
Forever.
Plot twist. That is so
Oh, they got sent.
I was left to fend for myself, and there was no chance in hell, which is very real, by the way. I'd be sent to an orphanage, so I set up shop here in Flatirons and started selling my potions, spells, whatever.
Oh, wait, can we go back to this hell is real thing?
Don't distract her. The story's just getting good.
Hell is real.
This funny little Yakuza weasel shows up at my shop,
Sounds like Ken.
talking about how big a deal he is, how important his dad is.
Definitely, Ken.
They put me on their payroll and covered my expenses if I would just make myself available for any spells, readings, or incantations they ever needed.
Anything for money, huh?
Hey, a witch has gotta survive. I wiped her mind, gave control of her to the Yakuza, and that's the last I heard. Until you two came around.
Oh yes, both of us come around and ruin everything.
But to be honest, those Yakuza were getting pretty annoying anyway. Always bugging my customers. I've been thinking of breaking our deal soon.
You should, and come help us instead.
Help you what?
Take back the city and defeat Ken and his Yakuza army.
Yeah, well, I didn't mean to give the wrong impression, but I don't give a rat's ass about any of that.
Oh.
However, if you two promise to come around my shop now and then, pick up the business I would have had with them, I'm sure we can come to an arrangement.
I knew you were good at heart.
Don't you ever say that about me again.
Got it.
Here, take my emblem. You'll need it to get back out of the forest.
Ooh, shiny.
And expensive looking.
Don't sell it. You might need it later. The Yakuza gave an emblem to each of their special employees, like myself.
Other witches?
Hardly. I took care of their spells. Another their food. The girl their social media.
Well, thanks for your help, Blair. We'll be back, I'm sure.
You better. And bring cash. I'm not helping you out for friendship.
Oh, of course we have
Not even
to
a little?
pay her.
No.
Okay. Yeah, we'll pay
It's
cash.
it's exchanging of goods and services.
Yep.
Money talks. That's why people get pissed off in Monopoly. Oh, get off my lawn. Actually, you know what? What does she have for sale? Seeing that my HUD is just out of control, like, I don't even know how much money I have, or...
Oh, okay.
Reviving and being revived is much easier. Pull off power parries that do damage. Air attacks are stronger. Heavy attacks have a chance of being superheated.
You've got decent... It's all yours. You've got decent taste.
I'm thinking, like... What is better for me? Superheated. Oh, it means that my heavy attacks are on fire. I'll get a Frost Sigil and a Witch's Bottle.
Be gone.
I just went and got all of
Come
them.
again.
We got a lot of money now.
I still need to buy that thing that decreases my spending.
It's called
I'm trying to
having a
remember where it
budget.
is. No, like, if I'm gonna make them... I'm gonna make them change their prices so it's cheaper for me. Especially when it's, what is it? Consumables. You're gonna recruit a magic man?
Yep. That magic man. Alright, so
Okay,
where are we
so-
going next?
That's a good question.
We're heading to Uptown? Is that where we're heading?
Uptown.
Which we should be able to get to via Crosstown from the looks of it.
Crosstown, so we gotta go back.
Unless the
does this mean
ferryman
I-
is available to us.
I don't think the ferryman available? Okay, you know what? We could try.
Unless there was like another way out of that place. Nah, there was only the one way. Okay. So we need to go to the left, down, 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 and then to the right. Oh wait, no, there's another thingamadiggy down. Okay, so we need to take the abandoned, we need to get back to the abandoned train yard. Right up right. Because there's a question mark there.
Alright, got it.
Yep.
Yeah, watch out for the random pitfalls. Who the heck? Oh, it's you.
Flame of kid flips.
Ooh, let's see, can we get... Alright, let's get rid of the
I gotta-
warlock. And then let's see if we
Alright.
can recruit this.
Okay. Alright. It doesn't matter which one. Alright, recruitment complete. I don't know who I recruited. Of course I would fall into a pit. And I did it again. Oh, come on, man.
There we go.
I'm getting scammed.
What a shame.
Okay. Oh god. The last thing I need is to just have a random cheer girl just run up to me and assault me on sight. Oh, I died?
Ow. Alright, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna go here,
We're just gonna change area.
change area, and then change back.
I didn't expect my health to be that low. But then again, that glitchy HUD didn't really tell me.
Yeah, no, it doesn't help us, does it?
Ah, why won't you die? You don't see me punching you? Dude, freaking you assaulted me with freaking brass discs. That's a double standard right there. Why am I single? Yes, you.
Downtown.
I think I pick up the tarot card.
Here we go. Thank you, Sir Dragon, for the Why I'm Single shirt. Oh yeah, that reminds me, I need to share something real quick.
Oh my god, a raid!
We need to find our
What?
Creepy guy instead.
Nice.
Hey, Serpentine, how you doing? Welcome on in.
Oh, Danny! Hi!
Welcome, welcome. How are you doing? How is just chatting? I'm pretty sure you did something there. And welcome on in, Raiders. I'm Boy Foxy Icy, or you can just call me Icy for short because my name's too long and people say Nikki instead of Nicey for some reason.
Alright, so we go to the right so we can get to the bus stop.
Yep.
And then from the bus stop we'll take the, oh, we have to be up here.
Oh no. I can't climb while I have a
There we go.
bike. I'm on my way. Well, here's the thing. Like, if you look at the name and you start piecing it together, you can kind of understand what I'm going for. The Amazing Digital Circus episode 6 and 7 back to back. Oh my god.
Oh, if they
You're
released the final
watching it.
episode? out on YouTube? I know they were doing a cinematic, like a limited cinema release before it was shown on YouTube. Which is kind of cool.
Like, the weird thing about that series is that there are parents out there that are like, my kids want to watch this movie or this show. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me?
It accomplished the job of having people mistake it for a simple, like, what's Mahuzi? They accomplished that. So, alright.
Alright, I'm being attacked by 3 girls right now, so give me a moment.
Oh, Icy is so disappointed. There's one.
Yeah, why would you take your kids to go see that? But then again, we had parents that bought us Grand Theft Auto.
All right, so we need to go right, up, right. Hopefully this is the right way.
Hi, Gaming. Wait a minute, what are you doing here? Oh, did you finally raid into the last raid train?
Right,
you
right
did?
place?
Oh, sweet.
Nope, this is the wrong place. Okay, we need to get out of this afterwards.
I was lurking in your stream and saw you playing a bit of Fortnite and doing other things as well. I try to stick around for as long as the raid train as I possibly can, but you know, work has me in shambles. And also because
adversaries, or is this it?
That's the only one. I'll let you deal with her.
Yep.
Yeah, no worries. It's fine. Like, today's my Monday. Yeah, because you know, being the only Australian on the raid train is kind of hilarious.
Here we go.
Maybe I should have told Spunky that.
I need you to help me get rid of the chairs. There we go.
Okay, you can recruit.
Yep, there we go.
Alright, we recruited a dominatrix. Got it.
Yep. We can go into the hideout really quickly to, you know, get our stamina back up.
I appreciate you being there for any amount of time. That's what I say to people too.
I'll consider it.
Also, I'll give you a shout out too. Also, Serpentine, if you need to de-stream, eat, drink, sleep, or whatever, feel free to do so. I'm not going to stop you. Is it the whole point of just raiding as well?
Alright. So, we got one schoolgirl, a cheerleader, we got 4 of the luchadors, 2 high pops, 1 thug. There's a male and females. I got 1 larper.
A larper?
A yokai.
I got a yokai. Their school bus crashed in the woods and they were never seen alive again. I know that story.
Martha Splat. No, I didn't get. So I got 1 Martha Splatterhead. I don't know if I got the one that you got though. That's the problem.
Queen Earthbreaker, a Gorgon from another time and place, but she's fine. She's fit here just fine.
Okay, so the recruits are not shared.
Yeah, they haven't. They're not shared.
Darn.
I do my best to. I'm actually doing this thing where I'm trying to be a bit more active on Twitch, not just the streaming side, but actively visiting other people's channels. Secure, contain, protect. Yeah, that's an SCP quote. Yeah. Like, I'm at a point where. It's funny, like, I've seen you around before, but I don't know, apart from Spunky's channel, like, maybe I've seen you elsewhere. I know I seen Icy Eclipse before. My name's not Nikki. Freaking, what, freaking, I wish I just randomly had an SCP jump scare.
This one we need to go through.
Alright, we go this way.
Through the Ferris wheel again.
But I'll say this, like, I'm thankful to Spunky for giving me the opportunity Yeah, for giving me the opportunity to
I have
be
not seen
part of
this
another
one
raid
before,
train.
so I want to try and grab it. Chance.
Which one?
The one on the
The
far left. Let me just get rid of these guys. Oh, actually. All right, so that's the last one.
You
I think?
zapped him. Who the heck is he? Okay, you can recruit.
Yep, there we go.
You know what? I'm going to
Sup, nerds?
$5 to recruit you. I'll recruit you, man.
Later, dweebs.
I've been part of both now. Yeah, I've been part of both as well. I did attend the first one. I was later in the raid train. I think I was in the middle, but this time Spunky put me near the front of the raid train. Like, to be honest, like, I had to put the times like that because even though it was the start of the raid train, it would technically be Sunday for me.
Alrighty, now we go back to the...
I don't think destroying that statue did anything good for us, karma-wise.
Yeah, that's a bit of
I didn't know attacking. Oh, well, we go. Oh, we actually go in here. So this leads back to the sauna.
Yep, because I'm pretty sure it was in here that there was like a... Yeah, there was a blue question mark here.
Oh, this dude.
Y'all ready to get
He's muscular as!
Crashed.
And annoying. What's your name, guy?
I'm Crash, and nobody could beat my best time in a cross-city relay race.
Jeez, he has... You can grate cheese on his abs.
What do we win if we beat your time?
Bragging rights.
Yeah, I only know you from Spunky streams, and after the raid train, I started coming to yours. I have been visiting yours from time to time, but I've been lurking.
So you keep saying.
All right, let's see what you two are capable of. Ready?
Race crash across the whole of Flatirons for bragging rights. I like to just see what everyone else is doing.
Right, oh, we need to go through the... Okay.
Alright. So, down, right, right, down. So, keep going all the way to the right.
Yeah,
after the
but
first
remember this
down.
forest? Remember this crazy-ass forest?
Oh, yeah. Three minutes. Oh yeah, we have to avoid what is it? Those minus 5 second timers.
Okay.
Okay, we ignore everybody.
Oh shit. Sorry, I got distracted.
Well, committing vandalism.
No! Come on. God damn it. There we go.
Committing vandalism is very tempting. I wouldn't do it IRL. I'm gonna go to lurk to get some sleep. Well, but night night. All good. Have a good sleep, and please de-stream. I was about to say de-stress, but then I realized that only fixes one of the problems. I should really put a new lurk message.
Hey, look at the trees. They've got weird symbols on them now. Guess we can follow those so we won't get lost again?
Would have been nice if those were there the first time through.
There we go.
How did this man go through the entire forest? Alright, 5 minutes. Well, 5 seconds, I mean. Let me up, let me up! I will get a new lurk message. It's because I stopped using stream elements. Well, I'm almost done not using stream elements.
Damn it.
Did you pick up -5?
I did. I got a +5 and then a -5.
That's fine. You zeroed out your outcome. Alright, down this way.
Oh, okay.
But I, for one, do like checking out new content creators. It's fun just to see how the new ones react or whatever.
Oh, goddamn you! I forgot about.
Okay,
This is gonna hurt. This is gonna hurt. This is very much gonna hurt.
You haven't actually lost a lot of health. We keep going to the right. Because we're gonna make our way to the ferryman.
Oh, come on.
It's okay, we can beat Crash. Ow, I touched the fire. Okay, oh god, dang it! Alright, okay. I grab more time.
There we go.
Ah! We did it for bragging rights.
I never had my time beaten before. I think I need to be alone to process this bogus turn of events.
Take your time.
But give us that prize in the meantime.
Oh, yeah. Fair is fair, huh?
150 bucks. Fake lashes.
Nice.
Okay, so does this mean we can go continue?
Let's see if we can take the ferryman.
That should take us to the next area. I do want to go visit the mall to buy that smartwatch. Boom! Take this! Well, I know I'm using fire a lot because I don't have access to ice. Alright, ferryman.
Oh, hello. Let's try and get you recruited.
Okay, you should be the last one, I think. Alright.
Give it a minute.
Okay, I already recruited,
Let me go.
Yep, there we go. That's a new recruit.
Okay. Ooh, we can talk to the ferryman. And I bought... Well, I'm an idiot.
Well, hello there.
Ah, the ferryman is now listening to us.
Some kind of monster. Shame on you. Just because I don't have skin doesn't mean I don't have feelings.
Wow.
I'm the ferryman, and for a price, I can take you wherever you need to travel. Except on land. Well, yes, obviously. Climb aboard my cursed vessel when the journey is far, and I will transport you across this plane of existence to your destination. For a fee, right? It's reasonably priced. Cheaper than a taxi, really. Feel free to charge your phones, and there's water bottles under the seat.
Wait, the ferryman's voiced by Alpha Red?
Alright.
Wait, Alpha Red voices the ferryman?
I have no idea
What?
who Alpha Red is.
You have no idea who Alpha Red is.
I know no one, Blue. I am terrible with names and faces, especially when it comes into the spec of like, oh, hey, you're gonna need to learn like maybe 300 names come, like, work. So, like, yeah, forgive me if I don't remember off the top of my head every YouTuber that could be referenced in a fighting game.
I will educate him, Blue. Yeah, go check it out. Because I'm like, wait a minute, the ferryman sounds familiar, and I'm like, that is Alpha Red. Where's Jaden Animations?
Oh, I know what Jaden's Animations is. I've seen her stuff.
Like, both Alpha Red and her live in the same house. Must just because I do know the first River City Girls game had a lot of cameos and YouTubers make references or their voice actors. Like Jacksepticeye is Kyodai.
Which doesn't really help us.
All right, who built a sandcastle this
So-
big?
We can go to the left. Oh no, we can't because that's a block.
That's blocked
Ow.
off.
God damn it.
You fell.
And
You did it
again. I hate how this game does the loading upwards, okay?
We're playing with a style. Oh, there's another one.
Oh, you can recruit her this time. Because I've recruited her before.
Baby! Must. Kind of hard to recruit when they're all swarming. Must get out of my way. I can't see.
Alright, she should be the last one. There you go.
And you're cute. Oh, you called me cute?
Blue Fox and Icy is cute.
I think you can't escape these allegations. What's up there?
No idea. Nothing worthwhile.
Okay, that's a dead end for now. Oh, okay. What? My god, that guy's face is sunburnt. His face is red, and the rest of his body is like... his arms are tanned, but his torso is just white. Like, it's...
Okay.
Oh, there's the dojo! I can learn new moves, but I want to buy the smartwatch! Oh, there's a donut shop. Okay, he's poisoned.
So we're going through the dojo, or?
I'll see. I'll check the dojo, see if there's any new moves I can get.
Hey,
But I don't want to go too crazy.
Let's enlighten ourselves.
Unlocked at level 12, unlocked at 5, unlocked at 6. Oh, I already got all these.
Oh no, no, it's the requirement to get them is be at that level.
I swear I've used this cheap shot though. Like, not that one, not that one.
It'll be ticked, if you have the moveset or not. I will buy...
I'll get the cheapest stuff first. I'll get the cheap shot.
Nice move. Nice.
Buy volley shot and spin kick. Yeah, spin kick.
A good one.
Alright.
We learn
I went
attacks,
for the ones
hoping
that
to
are like
never
less than
use them.
$100.
Alright, and then we got, what is this? Donut Queen. I just want to buy a donut, man.
What?
Yet some ruffians outside wanna...
Actually, that was probably a good thing. I was about to die.
Well then.
Oh, you're about to die? Okay.
Well then.
I
see.
All these... Okay, all these donuts provide the same,
Yep.
but I buy them for stats.
Hey there, T-Pain.
I'm just buying everything so I can get the stats.
As have I.
We get.
What do you mean? Freaking, you can't just discriminate me because you run a donut shop and you think you're high and mighty. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the freaking shopkeep looking down on me. Okay, start with your tear grenades. Green, bitey, feisty, spicy. What's... If I was green, I would die. Don't you know the song? I'm helping. Oh, what's this place? Might as well visit all the shops, I guess.
Might as well.
Good afternoon. I understand. Thank you. Of course.
Fake chicken.
Look kind of real to me. Hey, Artemis! Stealing my shirt again.
Thank you for coming.
Okay, I don't want to go crazy with my money.
I'm just reviewing our... Yep, okay, we can keep going left, and then that should get us over into downtown.
Ow! Who dares attack me with freaking dice? Okay.
You want to try and recruit her?
I'll try. And I don't want to replace the guy I paid $5 to recruit. Cat! Alright, I need to actually check my new movesets.
You're practicing for live drawings with Mama Snap this weekend and need a subject to practice on. Oh shit, there's traffic. I can't be posing in the middle of traffic. Oh, there's a blue guy. Hang on a second.
There's a blue guy. Part of the Blue Man group.
Wait, leave him for last. Leave him for last. Work on the other ones.
What? If he stops, he's following me. Oh, he's not dead. He survived. All right, you're gonna have to deal with the rest of them because this guy's following me.
All right, here we go. Here we go. I need to up this way.
Oh, there's another guy. All right. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. It's not making it easy. Oh.
Got him. Recruited.
Nice. All right, I'm gonna quickly check my move list. So I got some new aerials. So B, Y, and B, BX. Okay, I gained Peach's ability to Peach Bomber. Man, these guys need to go get more tanned.
Okami Joe, thank you for the follow. I greatly appreciate it. Welcome, welcome.
We're not gonna give him the good old dick twist, T-Pain.
What? I have not seen that message from T-Pain.
No, they freaking redeemed my voice lines, and I forgot I recorded a line.
Okay. Okay, because I don't see that redeemed on the side.
I got a yo-yo. I got a yo-yo. Bro. Okay, I just wanted to Queen. I just wanted to get away from 6-7. Otherwise, something would happen.
Hang on. Let me try and recruit him. Got him. Recruited.
I love weapons. In game. Oh, we're back here again?
Town food trunk.
So, where do we need to go from here? Give me a second. I need this Buster vending machine. Alright. Quest objectives.
Look. So yeah, because we need to somehow get to Uptown. Because there's a quest in Uptown. Crosstown doesn't have anything. Doesn't have anything. It's...
So we keep going to the left all the way through.
So we just keep going left?
Yeah, it's just keep going left till we hit that specific exit point.
Alrighty then. Alrighty then.
I kind of wish there was a sort of HUD, like a mini map.
Oh, what the hell? How did that happen?
The floor can be broken through. I'm. Take this! I'm gonna hit you with another motherfucker. You need an apple or two?
Thank you. One apple will do.
An apple a day keeps the doctor away, and a garlic a day keeps everyone away. But I love garlic, alright? Freaking, garlic's amazing. But I do know that there is a sect of Buddhism that they don't eat onions or garlic. I can't remember the exact reason.
What? Why no onion?
I believe there's a religious reason, like no onion, no garlic. I don't know what the reason is though.
Okay.
And I know my auntie follows that.
Huh. Okay. Strange.
I do know like there was a time where people don't eat beans because of, you know, they thought that human souls were in them or something. I can't remember.
Beans.
Yeah, this was a Greek thing. But I should check into why they don't eat garlic and onions. You're wrong, a garlic a day attracts Wario. That is the cult of Pythagoras.
We're going the right way right now?
Yeah, we're going the right way. Yeah, we
Okay,
go all the
okay.
way to the left and then down.
Cult of Pythagoras? What? Is that the one with the no onions, no garlic? Oh,
Oh
remember
no,
this
that's the
one?
beans one. Ah, shit! My bad. Ow! Because I'll show you what a squared plus b squared equals. Equals your mum. Ow! I'm pouting.
There we go. Alright.
Did you just blue board the guy?
Nah, I poisoned him. It's different.
He got poisoned. I'm just running across the street while you... Alright, we're going the right way. Wait.
Damn.
Wait, what? What the fuck? We're in Crosstown now.
I think from Crosstown, we can then make our way down to Uptown.
Okay. So we... Okay, so we go all the way... We go down.
Hopefully so.
Once we hit the bus stop, we go down and keep going right.
Uh-huh.
Got it. I don't worship Nurgle, man.
All furries belong to Selenesh, okay? The goddess of excess and all that nonsense.
Yeah, listen, well, she does eat freaking space elf souls. Like, which
Where did
chaos
you go? I was in the middle of something.
Oh, I'm trying to get to the freaking other side.
Hepidea Restaurant paid me to
Like,
say
which chaos god would you align yourself with if you had to pick one? So we got Zinch, we got Slanesh, we got Nurgle and Korn.
All right, furry-wise, Slanesh, because of my statement earlier of all furries are like, you know, beholden to Slanesh. IRL, I think I would either be Nurgle or Zinch.
I would probably go for Zinch. I know that Korn hates magic users.
Yeah, no, Korn is all about like the good of the fight.
Like, I want blood. It's like I want blood to flow. I don't care where it flowed from.
Uh-huh.
I'll take that turbo juice.
There we go. Okay, don't know what happened there. I don't think that redeem went off, so I'm gonna refund you that.
This vending machine had a whole cooked chicken in it. Just don't swallow blood. Here we go again. Yeah! Ow!
Oh, let's try and recruit this one.
Sure. I'm not. I might as well just increase my roster, I guess.
Because yours won't increase as easily when we're off stream. Mine I can do at my own thing.
Yep. Because I don't have your save. But my save is linked to my character, so. Yeah! Show them how you Ribena someone. You want a salad?
Sure.
Take this stop sign.
Alright, so we need to go across, up, and then all the way to the right.
I know it's a drinks vending machine, but why does it have salad in it?
I guess it's as good as mine. Alright, so now we go up. Oh, we're back at the mall.
Yeah, we're back at the mall. I don't have enough money for the smartwatch because I need 1K.
Does that mean you want to pick up all this money?
Well, I'll get it another time. Like, we could easily come back here. There's that boxer dude again.
Yep, so up and then all the way to the right.
Okay. So technically go into the mall. Okay, I may have spilled a soft drink on someone. I don't feel any remorse though.
When have you ever felt remorse in the mall?
It's expensive. It's like, oh, I already given all my fucks for the week or the month. Oh my god, I'm being slashed with a knife. Thanks for the money. I do like the music in this game. Like, the soundtrack is really good.
It is good. It's definitely a vibe whether you're active or vibing.
This is a thing with every video game. Like, the video game could, like, suck in playability or graphics or whatever aspect, but for some reason, the music never gets criticized as much.
Music, unfortunately, has a very thankless role of it can bring down a good game, but it cannot bring up a bad game. You just have a music producers and such like that just have a terrible time. Oh, what the? Okay, so now we're in the thing. Also, there's a up path. What the?
Where the heck am I?
No idea. Stop backing out.
Burn! Oh my goodness. Help! I'm fine, I'm fine. I'm dead.
Alright, I'm gonna try and recruit her. Never mind. So what's up?
Is that where we need to go?
There isn't any obvious signage.
There's a sign. There's a thing going up, and then I saw something going down to the sewers.
Okay.
Parking garage.
Okay, so this puts us into Crosstown?
I'm gonna double check. Yeah, we're back in Crosstown again. Okay, so we need to go the other way.
Ah, okay. So rather than going through the mall, we could have... Okay.
But I think we had to go this way just to see if it's unlocked. I don't even know where I'm fighting. I'm fighting in the parking garage. What did I...
Ways. There we go.
Look both ways. Here's the thing, you don't drive this fast in the garage.
I haven't seen Little Nicky. That's the Adam Sandler one where he plays as like some like hell spawn or something like that, and you have to get like some souls back to hell or something.
Wait, that sounds like Spawn.
That's a
That's it. Freaking get sent.
Here.
Alright, where's this? Where are we? Gaming District! Woo! Blu-ray, DVD, sale. I think they're having a sale.
Oh, how do you know EVM is on sale?
I don't know. I think I saw a sign.
Don't forget to eat your celery.
Celery?
Yeah, you're right.
Oh yeah, you mean my cilantro?
Cilantro, sorry.
That has a chance of negatively affecting me. Pay forward. Okay, we can't enter the arcade.
Alright, hang on. We can take a detour up there. Maybe there'll be like a...
Oh my god, VR!
Video games here.
Replenish stamina 100%, temporarily boosts the AG, stamina AT, WP, LK.
Let's see.
Yep.
Bounty Lass. That is
16 bits.
I think Metroid Palmerinos, that's Mario. Triangle Princess, that's Zelda. Hot-Blooded Boys. Hot-Blooded Boys, what the heck?
Press eject.
See you soon.
Thank you, Sir Dragon, for giving us the Google result for Little Nicky. It wasn't needed, but, you know, thanks anyway. Although, can I ask that you not do the Googling unless I explicitly ask for someone to Google shit? I'm not a fan of when people, like, if I'm trying to spark up conversation and stuff like that, and they're like, oh, what does Google tell you? It's like, if I want to have a conversation with Google, I wouldn't go outside or go into this VC. So...
Well, okay, the first thing I do is just jump straight into the pond.
Yeah, that's your problem.
Oh my goodness!
You can't stand the heat. Get out of the kitchen.
I can't stand the heat. Must stomp on what happened to civil discourse? Freaking, what do you mean what happened to civil discourse? Stardust Coffee Shop. I feel like we can recruit this person.
There we go.
Wow. Okay, ooh, what's the... Oh, the candy shop.
Greet the customer, Pandora.
5 seconds, double damage, recruit increases, conjures a friendly zombie. Ah, okay, so not my interest.
What kind of freaking shop is this?
Too violent out there.
What kind of shop is that? The freaking table was freaking me out. Get dabbed on. Okay, I don't like the idea that there's a laser fence, a laser gate, and turrets outside. Oh, there's a tarot card. Okay.
All right, so... Oh, okay, so we somehow skipped the other 2 thingies, because it looks like there was 2 ways of going up, and we took the second one.
Okay. We can always check that later.
Yeah.
Alright, well, we're just going to try and make our way to, probably the objective, and then probably end it there.
Fair enough. I was just looking for a safe house, was my thoughts.
Oh, yes, a safe house.
That's why I was, like, you know, doing the detours and such. So I guess the arcade would be, like, that, you know, 2 slots up thing, which is not the same.
Oh, yeah,
as this.
yeah, we can't go that way.
Yeah. Alright.
So...
Through here.
Ooh, safe house. Where's the safe house? There's a safe house in each area. Well, someone got electrified?
I'll see if there's like a house icon like on the map.
Oh, here it is.
All right. This is it.
Wait, are you freaking kidding me? We turned the bookshop into a safe house?
And all we're doing is playing video games in a bookshop.
Alright, so I'm actually gonna move some of my items into storage.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do here as well.
Yes, my fake chicken. I still have a chocolate-filled frog. It's not a chocolate frog, it's a chocolate-filled frog.
Alright. Hey, look at that. So we now got Grendel. Once the prom king, not really a contender for that title anymore. And then... Let's see. Colleen... Still only 4. We got a Tiger Man. Nakamura.
Waver, a bizarre gamble with a penchant for taking high risks.
And then David. And then the LARPer Fabian.
64 RC-14. Giant robots from the future skies as giant robot-looking humans.
Alright, so I've got recruiting to do out off stream and such, but we'll do that at another time. Where do we go to save?
Bet.
I believe it auto saves. Last time we auto saved.
Hang on, think. It's on, so settings. Oh, there's a save and quit. Here it is. Right there.
Yep.
Yeah. What happens to your
Because,
character when I do that? Does it just disappear as
Oh,
well?
I get sent back to my start screen.
Ah, okay. But yeah.
Alrighty,
Probably
let's call it here. I'm going to my end scene right here.
Sounds good, sounds good. Do we have an idea of who we're gonna go raid into?
Yes, I have an idea. We're
right.
gonna go raid someone by the name of Icy Eclipse. Okay, I have a reason.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a reason for this. So they are the last stop for Spunky's raid train.
Okay. So wait, sorry, let me search this again. Sorry, so what? Sorry, Icy
Eclipse.
Yep, they're playing Planet Crafter right now.
Yeah, Planet Crafter, and I also see that they're also trying to push for partner. So let's go ahead and give them a bit of a boost, shall we?
All right, let's go give them a boost. I'll click start raid, and I'm just gonna go with the short and sweet himbo raid on my side. Do you have a raid message?
I got a raid message. I'm gonna go with what is it? Where is my? Okay, I actually had this thing earlier. Freaking, I had the emote. Where was it? Okay, there it is.
I just have the raid messages. Or streamer bot thing. I never. Custom names.
I'm gonna go with this as my raid message because even though I was part of the raid train, I technically am streaming again, so I am hijacking their train.
All right, I'll go with that one. So ding dong ding. I'll use that message as well.
You feel free to copy the emote there. It's just an emoji or whatever you like.
Alright, I'll go with
yeah.
Well, I have one where it's blank for everyone, so they can pick their most appropriate emoji if not. But yeah, countdown is going down, so I'm gonna say thank you everyone who came along to tonight's stream. I greatly appreciate it. Sorry for the crash out about the shirts. Blue, thank you so much for collabing. I hope we all have a good morning, afternoon, night. I'll see you all next time.
Alright, see you everyone.